Welcome in, Iowa Hawkeye fans, to another episode of the Hawkeye Tailgate Report. I am Luke Myers. Joey and Stin are here as well. And in the words of Adam Sandler, that was an ass-kicking fiesta we saw last Friday night at Maryland. Fellas, how are we doing?
Oh, when you started out with the ass-kicking fiesta, I thought you were going to mention the fact that we swept our doubleheader last week in softball.
Yeah.
We doubled our win total from both summer and fall league combined in one night. It was huge for us.
I pitched 2 complete games, so you could say that I was putting the team on my back, perhaps. I don't know. My arm is ready to fall off, but we persevere. We got the bye this week, though, so we'll be ready to go for next week.
Yeah, rest up, get hot, but I was not talking about your softball games, contrary to your belief.
Oh. What were you referring to?
The dismantling that took place in Maryland last Friday night.
Yeah, that was easily the second biggest thing that happened last week.
People love when they think of ass kickings in the history of Iowa football, they instantly think Ohio State. That Ohio State game was close until half. This game was close after the first quarter. And then it was like, holy shit, what just happened?
Okay, yeah, you're not wrong, but also, like, the win against Ohio State is on, like, an entirely different level as it was against Maryland. Like, when you kicked, like, Maryland, yeah, they were 4-0, and they were the trendy pick to, like, beat Iowa or whatever. All those people that did take that pick are fucking idiots. But, like, at the end of the day, they're still Maryland. Like, their 2 best wins were against, like, a bad West Virginia team and I don't know, some other shit team. But, I mean, what we did to Ohio State, you're going to remember that game forever. This Maryland game, awesome this season, probably going to remember it for a while this year, but, like, how much further down the road will we remember that game?
Depends how the rest of the season goes, I think.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Because that feels like not a turning point in our season because we were 4-0 before 4-0 before that, but maybe like a spark for the rest of the season. I feel a lot better going into the Penn State game having done that to Maryland than if we had just, survived Maryland.
It feels like a turning point for our offense. The defense continued to play at the same level that they always have.
A higher level.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we have such lofty expectations. Yeah, I shouldn't diminish how good the defense was because anytime you generate 7 turnovers, that's crazy.
Against the best offense we've played so far.
Yeah.
Allegedly.
But my biggest takeaway from that game is the offense finally looked like what we thought the offense could look like, and that's got to make any Iowa fan feel really goddamn good moving forward.
And we saw it against Colorado State that we did start throwing the long ball more. And we did throw it a little this week, too. It just so happened that everything else on offense clicked at the perfect time. It was a flawless game.
I think a huge factor in that was the time that Petrus was getting back there. He was able to stand back in the pocket and actually look at every receiver, it seemed like. He had all the time in the world, and it obviously showed in the running game, too. But I was very impressed with the offensive line on Friday.
Yeah, I mean, we were running for like 5 yards a carry. So when you're doing that, your entire offense is opened up because you can set up screens, you can set up play action, you can set up the deep ball. Like everything in Iowa's offense moves as the running game does. And my God, was Petrus selling the fake handoff and the play action? Like the camera guys were getting fooled every other time he was doing that, and he'd have like tight ends or like the running backs just absolutely uncovered wide open. Like they were selling the play action good.
They were I don't know if they were fooling out the camera guys or if they were just like not that good. The Friday crew might not be their A crew, but yeah, the play action was ridiculous.
Well, even the color guy on Fox kept saying about how the tight ends are just like wide open in the flats basically, or 5-10 yards downfield. Like those are easy first downs every time we would throw it.
Yeah. It's like one of the greatest plays in football where the tight end like goes left and then comes back right across the field and he's just wide open. Like, oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, if our offense continues to play like that for the rest of the season, and obviously, Maryland's defense, well, going into the game, like, statistically had a higher ranked defense. Like, I don't think anybody was actually buying into them being as good as what their numbers said. And, it's Maryland. Like, it'll be more important to show that same thing against Penn State. But if we play a game like we did on Friday, we can go kind of toe-to-toe with any team in the country.
Yeah, and I might as well spit out some stats here quick because it was that impressive. We played 3 quarterbacks. We saw everybody that was listed in Padilla and Deuce. Deuce's first action ever. Shout out to him. But Petrus, 21 of 30, 259 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks. He had 2 rushing touchdowns as well. Yeah, which got him the Davey O'Brien quarterback of the week or whatever that was. Suck it, haters. Tyler Goodson, he only averaged 3.5 yards a carry, but he had 2 catches for 85 yards. Yeah, Goody
Are you sure about
Can
that?
we fact check that rushing yards one?
Yeah, Goody had 19 carries for 66 yards.
Oh, man, I swear at one point he's averaging like 5.5.
That feels wrong.
Well, ESPN, so I don't know. But
ESPN's news.
he also had 2 catches for 85 yards, and the juke that the Maryland safety still hasn't recovered from.
They're still looking for his ankles.
Kelly Martin had a good game, 8 carries, 62 yards. Laporta, 5 catches, 49 yards. Charlie Jones, 3 catches, 44. Arlen Bruce coming out game, 6 catches, 43 yards, and a touchdown. Or did he have 2? No, he only had 1, right?
Bruce?
Yeah.
I don't know, but he was all over the fucking place.
They were using him so well in the screen game. He's shifty.
Reganey had a few catches. Kelly Martin had a couple catches. Tyrone Tracy had a touchdown catch. Max Cooper got a catch. I wish I knew how to pronounce this guy's last name. Josiah Miniman?
Miniman.
He had a catch for 22 yards. So, clearly the passing game went well. Did any of our defenders have multiple interceptions?
No, I
don't think so.
I think it was 6 different defenders.
That's very impressive.
Let's see if we can list them off the top of our head. Terry Roberts had one.
Moss
had
Belton.
one. Belton.
Merriweather.
Yeah. That's
Corner.
4. Corner.
That's 5 that we said.
Guy the guy that
The last guy. The last interception. I don't know his name.
His name starts with an S. The guy that got the last one.
Schulte.
Yeah, but we still missed one, right?
No, we got
No.
them all.
Hankins didn't have one, did he?
No. We had 5 before I said Hankins.
Oh.
We said Terry Roberts, Riley Moss, Dane Belton, Merriweather, Corner, Schulte.
Oh, okay. Yep.
And Shudak, great game as well. Charlie Jones did great returning the ball. Torrey Taylor didn't have a... What?
Charlie Jones had a most impressive catch, too. He made a Reganey catch.
Oh, yeah, the over-the-shoulder,
I'll tell you,
headed to the sideline.
Petrus, I mean, that's a difficult catch to make, but Petrus is putting it...
It's the perfect spot for that ball to be.
And there was one of those dropped, too, which I don't really blame the receiver because that's a very difficult catch, but...
I'm saying if it hits you in both hands, you should catch it.
Petrus is making that throw look easy.
Do you guys remember on the football preview pod when we were doing bold predictions what Sean's prediction was?
I think I saw you tweet it today that Petrus was going to win over fans by the end of the season.
I would say he's certainly doing a pretty decent job at winning over fans right now.
I'll say it. It's not exactly a bold prediction by Sean. Mine was that...
come on, Joey. Wasn't your bold prediction that Alex Padilla was going to start by the end of the year?
Yeah, that's a bold prediction.
It's called bold. I picked that Iowa would have 2 National Player of the Years guys on the same team. If you're going to be bold, you might as well be bold.
I mean, it's not a stretch to say that a quarterback that's only ever started, 8 games is going to have a better season and win people over. Same thing happened with Stanley.
He's certainly winning people over a lot.
Yeah. Keep playing
shut up,
that
Siri.
way.
I don't want you. But other notes from the game I had, Demas was killing us before he got hurt. It's not like it would have made a 40-point difference in the game.
I don't know. Ask a Maryland fan. They seem to think otherwise.
Just remember, Maryland was the better team. They just weren't as disciplined as Iowa was.
That was that was easily the most brutal injury I've seen in any game that my team was playing.
Yeah, that was pretty gross. I think I called it live. I literally said, I'm pretty sure that guy just tore his ACL.
Well, what gave that away? The fact that you could see the back of his knee?
That had something to do with it, yeah. Although he was confident that he was coming back in when he was getting carted off the field. Which, I mean, I guess you gotta appreciate that on him being like, I'm coming back. Fuck these guys.
I think maybe he meant like next year.
At some point in his career.
Yeah, but he had 4 catches for 61 yards in like a quarter and a half, so he was absolutely
missing a lot of tackles on their first possession. Like, we were just like, would have guys for like behind the line or for like a 1 or 2 yard gain, and then a very uncharacteristic of Iowa, we were like missing a tackle or 2, and then they were gaining extra yards.
And then I have QB sneak is still undefeated. I honestly believe if we wanted to, we could run a drive where we just QB sneaked it up the field and score a touchdown.
I think we chew up a whole quarter and score a touchdown doing that.
So here's the thing. Once you do it like 8 times in a row,
it comes down to physicality, though.
Yeah, okay. But I'm saying, like, if you do it 8 times in a row and you have to, like, say it's a first down after you've done it so many times or whatever, they're just going to put, like, 5 guys over the nose tackle and be like, you have to beat us in some other way than QB sneak.
I don't think it matters because you got freaking Pottebaum coming in, launching himself into the back of.
Yeah, Linderbaum and Pottebaum back to back.
Pottebaum had 2 fullback assists and a touchdown.
Yeah, he could have had 2. We gave him a fullback dive from like the 6.
He when I watch Pottebaum play, he does remind me of Mark Wiseman. Which, I'm not saying, Wiseman was a great...
The Hebrew Hammer.
Yeah, he was a great running back for us, but he should not have been a running back.
He reminds me of Mike Allstott.
Hall of Famer, right?
Probably. Have you seen his highlight tape?
I mean, how many fullbacks are in the Hall of Fame?
Don't they gotta let some of every position into the Hall of Fame?
The first punter ever got in, like, 3 years ago.
That's absurd.
No, didn't Ray Guy get in?
It was not like 3 or so years ago. I remember watching the Hall of Fame game, and the first punter ever got in. In his speech, he said, the Hall's finally got a full team.
Yeah, but speaking of special teams, Terry Roberts is the best player. I will never flaunt Gunners on special teams, but my God, he is so explosive on special teams.
Yeah, I'm a really big fan of his.
I'm a really big fan of our entire special teams unit. Like, a lot of it's funny because like teams like Iowa State and Matt Campbell like say stuff about like you have to win at the margins and stuff like that. Iowa like actually does that with their special teams. Like, that unit is just important to Iowa as their offense and their defense is. Like, how many times have you seen Iowa flip a field with a good punt or a punt return, or down a ball at the 1, or just like make a good tackle when a guy could have got away? Like, there will be a game this year that specifically just our special teams play will win it for us. You could argue that that was the case for Iowa State, where they kept shooting themselves in the foot and we were playing better. Like, our special teams unit has got to be the best in the country with, like, in terms of our kicking, like our kick coverage, our returning, our punting, like every single facet of our special teams is so good. It's crazy.
We do have to. I know I already mentioned Caleb Shudak, but he's
hitting some piss missiles. They are freaking laser beams. He has no chance of making it over the net, which is like one of my favorite things ever. But
yeah, the other night, 3 of 3 on field goals, 6 of 6 on extra points. Has he missed yet this year a field goal?
He did one, and it was the first kick in the Iowa State game, but that was more because it was a bad high snap and it threw off the timing.
He is good though, and he does something that Keith Duncan struggled with, which he can kick it a long ways. So, which is a lot.
Yeah, I mean, even when Duncan was like the entrenched place kicker, Shudak always was the kickoff guy. Like, he kicks it out like for a touchback almost every single time, which is another like, it's an important part of your special teams to not even give the other team an opportunity to return the ball on you. It's important.
And then I have here, Iowa just doesn't force teams to turn the ball over. they turned those into points. I think they had 27 points off their turnovers or something like that the other night. It was probably higher than that. It had to be in the 30s because, 7 turnovers.
They had a streak going. I don't know how long it was, but a streak of turning turnovers into points, and it must have been long enough, obviously, that people were counting, and it only came to an end with the interception at the end of the first half because we didn't have a chance to score.
Unless you would have taken it to the house.
Yeah.
That would have been sweet.
And I think a lot of the criticism for the offense early on was, like, when we would turn it over, we would put points on the board, but outside of possessions where we didn't turn the ball over, we wouldn't. There's got to be a correlation there, I think. But I can't really think of it right now.
A correlation between what?
Nothing. It's stupid. I'm a moron. And then the final note I had was Iowa did not recover the corner fumble.
I don't know how in the fuck Belton came up with that ball.
That was absurd.
There was 2 Maryland guys straight up on top of the ball. Belton had one arm in that pile, and somehow or another, the ref said that he had the ball.
That's just not right. It's like
if I was a Maryland fan, I would have lost my mind about that. But also, there was a little bit there where I thought the Maryland was just getting brutalized by the refs too. If I was a Maryland fan, I would have been upset. But it didn't matter ultimately in the game because we killed them. But if you're a defensive back and you have a pick, wouldn't your number one focus be to not then puke it up? What? Some of these guys, it just drives me nuts. They try to do too much. They think they're going to house it. They're obviously not. Just hold on to the ball with two arms so that it doesn't get stripped, and you lose the friggin' momentum you get from the pick in the first place.
The receiver just he made a good play like a defensive back would where he came in from behind and punched the ball out. I'm not going to harp on corner too much for losing that. It was just a really good play by the receiver, I think. It's not like it's happened in every single game when we intercept a ball and then it turns into a fumble.
I know.
But that was a big win. It shut up a lot of people across the country. Still, there's those people saying, "Oh, well, Maryland just isn't a good enough
David
team."
Pollock.
Get bent,
as
all of
a
you.
Podcast, I think we should start a feud with David Pollock.
He literally, to justify him hating on Iowa, just said offenses are down across the country. Not that he would apply that same logic to a Georgia, who is a really good defensive team but doesn't do much offensively because they're in the SEC, but only when it's Iowa. Well, it's because the other teams just aren't actually as good as we thought they were. They're just not that good. Our offenses are down. Save me your fucking excuses, because there's such a double standard when it comes to Iowa, or really even just the Big Ten in general in the SEC. Early in the season, the Wisconsin Penn State game or whatever it was, really low scoring, and the national narrative was these offenses just aren't very good. It's an ugly football game. But then Georgia and Florida or whoever played early in the year, and the game finished 10-3 or something like that. And it was Georgia and Clemson played, and it was super low scoring. And the narrative after that was that's just 2 great defenses battling it out. You have to pick a standard and apply it. You can't pick and choose when to do it, especially if you're talking specifically only about the Big Ten when you try and pull that bullshit.
On the other hand, David Pollock's colleagues, Kirk Herbstreit and Greg McElroy, are invited to the cookout any day of the week. Because Herbstreit, I'm sure you saw Herbstreit's tweet as top performers from the week.
The entire Iowa
defense was number 1.
Seems like a bit of a cop-out by Kirk Herbstreit.
Well, how do you choose? How do you choose just one? We just said there were 6 different guys with an interception. And McElroy said that Iowa would beat Penn State, was it convincingly or something like that?
Yeah. Also, coming from a source where I never expected to hear them talking well about Iowa, Paul Feinbaum said that Iowa is the only legitimate college football playoff contender in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
He hates Iowa. He said that.
That was shocking to read.
It's going to take a little more for Feinbaum to be invited to the cookout.
Yeah.
He's going to have to do a lot of ass kissing before he's welcome. But, yeah, I just hate many of the national pundits right now. screw them. We'll just show them. But other than that, do you guys have any other notes on the Maryland game?
We're now 4 of 5 on benching starting quarterbacks, and like for sure 3. Maybe I don't really know about the Kent State quarterback, but for sure 3 of them are like the best quarterbacks in their program's history, and we have just absolutely shit down their throats. So that's pretty satisfying to me.
It is. Yeah, the Kent State one was weird. I know they brought in a guy for a few snaps, so I don't know. Whatever. We're 5-0. That's all that matters. 2-0 in the Big Ten. Wisconsin lost again this week. All around.
They stink.
We can say they stink, but just don't take advantage of it.
They're 1-3. Like, Iowa complained about our offense being bad early in the season, and we were still scoring like 28 points a game. Wisconsin struggles to put like 10 on the board. Graham Mertz is horrible. It's funny.
He got taken to the hospital too this week, didn't he?
Yeah, but he was really bad before that. It took him until like 3 minutes into the second quarter to have his first completion.
Yeah, I'm not defending them. And plus, every year they don't have a good quarterback. It's Melvin Gordon, Jonathan Taylor, Monte Ball, NFL running backs, and defense and offensive line. But, all right, now we move on to the biggest game in Kinnick Stadium since 1985. Number 3 Iowa and number 4 Penn State this Saturday night. ESPN FPI gives Iowa a 59% chance to win. I don't know a ton about Penn State. I know Sean Clifford's been there for a few years now, and Iowa took care of them last year, and they don't run the ball very well. How will we feel?
Well, the fact that they don't run the ball very well plays perfectly into our hands, because if they're not running the ball well, they're going to have to pass. And we know how that's worked out for the rest of the teams we've played so far.
Yeah, I'll take our defense against any quarterback, our secondary against any quarterback. That's not really a question for me right now. But what do you think, Stin?
The way that Joey was like irrationally confident for the Iowa State game is kind of how I felt about this Penn State game for the whole year. So I'm really just setting myself up for deep disappointment, but I think we're going to win. And I think we're going to do it in a convincing fashion.
Oh, yeah, I just, watching the way the defense has played this year, I can't imagine we're going to give up more than 20 points. Looking at their numbers right here, their defense only does give up 12 points a game. It's not as good as our 11.6, but they've also played Wisconsin. I mean, there's an Auburn who doesn't have an extremely great offense right now. I know a lot of people hate Bo Nix at Auburn.
They've played... I didn't even know Villanova had a football team until just now. They played Villanova and let them score 17 points.
Yeah, I mean, they only won by like 20 that game, right?
21.
See, yeah, I don't... Is Villanova FBS?
They had to have just got a football team, right?
Yeah, I don't really know.
Anyway.
I've never... Whatever.
Yeah, I'm going into this game feeling pretty confident. I'm scared like any other week because there is the chance that somebody does figure out how to throw or move the ball on Iowa's defense. It does seem like early in the game that teams do capitalize on us more, which is kind of strange because you figure you wear them out by the end of the game, you're able to get into the end zone a little bit. But I just don't see them putting up enough points to outlast us, you know?
Yeah, I especially the atmosphere at Kinnick. Won't be night, but it'll be damn close, especially during the second half. It'll be pretty well dark for most of that second half. Sun at least on the way down.
It's
over the horizon.
Sun on the way down and dark.
I mean, it's 7 o'clock right now.
different.
The game. I mean,
The game's going to be pretty much over by
it's been
7.
it's been decently dark for at least an hour now.
I wouldn't say that's
You'll
dark.
get the night atmosphere in Iowa.
And
I
Iowa fans and Kirk Ferentz, I bet they certainly remember the last time Penn State came to Iowa City and dropped an absolute heartbreaker. That game, I was at that game. It was the most electric atmosphere I've ever been in at Kinnick. It was borderline magical that night, and then it collapsed just like that.
Is that the yellow jersey night?
What?
That was yellow jersey night?
So, no, Luke's thinking about 2 games ago.
Oh, 2 games ago. My bad. I forgot about yellow jersey night. That was tough to watch.
That one sucked also.
But the main difference between, because Penn State was, I believe, top 10 when we played them that year, like number 5 or something in 2017. The main difference between that Penn State team and this Penn State team is they do not have a Saquon Barkley-esque player, which was...
Yeah, I mean, we win that game if Saquon Barkley is an average running back.
He had like
easily, right?
200 yards on the ground or 200 total yards that game. He just absolutely shredded us. And they just don't have that this year. And I'm talking to myself into this big time. I'm starting to...
Yeah, like I said, I know that I'm just setting myself up for even more heartbreak by feeling the way that I do about this game. But I feel how I feel. I'm not going to apologize for it.
I've said all season long, I was really confident about the Iowa State game. But, then I was nervous about the Maryland game because the offense hadn't shown us a ton. And now, the Maryland game, they did show us that they can be a good functioning offense. And obviously the defense speaks for itself. So that all comes together to me being, very confident about this game, especially at home. And
you got to think our crowd gives us 7 points of advantage. It's going to be a fucking zoo in there.
Yeah.
I think what gives me more confidence is I watched a clip of Riley Moss after the Maryland game the other night, and it's consistent with every game because we've played great pretty much every game aside from Colorado State. Riley Moss said, it was a great night. Yeah, we played awesome. But we still have room to improve. That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean,
I know you just have to say that, but...
Yeah, I think everybody kind of just says that. Everybody after the game, they're obviously happy we won, but you always think that you can do better. I don't know how much better, Iowa's defense can be than what it has been.
Are you starting to fall into my umbrella of... I've been saying for a while now, the defense I just feel will always bail us out. Are you starting to believe in that?
I mean, I don't think, you said that anytime we're in a bad situation, the defense is going to get us an interception or a turnover or something. I don't feel like that because I just, I have faith in our defense to not have to bail us out. I don't think that we put ourselves in situations where we have to get a bailout interception or a bailout fumble recovery or something. I don't buy into that because we're good enough in all facets of the game where we don't have to have that in order for us to still win.
Yeah, another thing I liked when I was rewatching the game yesterday was after the Schulte interception, they showed a replay and you could see Hankins in the back of the bench standing up and jumping around cheering him just so hyped for his teammates. This team does feed off of each other's energy a lot and wants everybody to succeed.
Yeah, well, it's that and they're more allowed to be able to express themselves like that now than they ever have been. It's one of David Eicholt had a good article about it, about how as one of the positive changes that came out of all of the racial disparity stuff that happened, last summer, is that the guys are able to kind of be themselves more and have more kind of free reign on the sidelines. In the past, you never saw like Iowa players getting up on the bench, like celebrating to the crowd after an interception like that, or after their sixth pick of the night, all the like DBs were in front of the camera like counting interceptions on their hand. Like the team was never allowed to be, I don't know if that loose or like that kind of
Swag.
vocal about like we're kicking ass, we're gonna enjoy it. Like they weren't able to do that before now, and I think that like that is a very positive change that's happened, and I think it helps the team. Like they're able to like just be themselves instead of having to kind of feel like they need to fit a mold or whatever. Like they're out there having a good fucking time and just like showing it for everybody to see, and it's awesome.
Like I said, biggest game in Kinnick since 1985 when it was number 1 Iowa and number 2 Michigan. It's number 3 Iowa and number 4 Penn State this weekend. Let's just have fun with it. I'm anticipating one of the best games I'll ever attend in my life. Hopefully we come out on top and continue rolling in the Big Ten. I do want to say, though, if it doesn't go our way, we are still very much in control of the Big Ten West. Like, we can still get to Indy and then still have a chance to play Penn State again, and if we would beat them in the Big Ten championship game, that makes a hell of a conversation for the playoff committee to consider.
Here's my bold prediction. Penn State will not be the representative from the East. Ohio State is still the team to beat in the East, in my opinion.
I put more stock into Ohio State than I do into Penn State.
If God willing, we make it to the Big Ten championship, we will be playing Ohio State. I'm sure of that.
All right. Well, should we move on?
Do I have anything else to add? For anybody that is attending the game, remember, it's the stripe game at Kinnick. Look at what your section color is supposed to be before you show up there, because you don't want to be the jackass that's wearing black in a gold section. You stick out like a fly in milk. Get it figured out.
I do
Thank
feel
you,
bad
Austin.
for people in the gold section, though, because I don't own any gold Iowa stuff.
See, I didn't. This season, I made an effort to add more gold Iowa gear to my collection. That way I wouldn't be just a black shirts and sweatshirts stuff anymore. So I've added a lot of gold this year.
Alrighty, now we're going to sneak in a few ads from our sponsors here. Rolling Hills Pork out of Farley, Iowa. Wes Henderson has the best pork you can possibly find out there. Brats, ham steaks, bacon, bone-in pork chops, literally whatever you want. Takes the whole pig and makes it into magic.
I noticed Luke always accidentally says rolling holes pork. And it actually kind of makes sense, because you're going to want this pork rolling into your holes. Particularly your mouth.
I was going to say, you said holes plural there. So, but
hey, whatever floats your boat.
He has just the best pork product you can find on the market. Don't go to some big producer and get your meat for the winter. Call Wes Henderson. His phone number is 319-461-5520. The best pork you'll find on the market. And our second sponsor, BUSR.com. You know we like to bet our fair share of sports at the Hawkeye Tailgate Report, but it isn't always easy to find a reputable source. At Student Union Sports, we are big fans of BUSR.com. BUSR is our go-to location for sports betting and online gaming. Bet on your favorite sport events today, including NFL, the NBA is coming back, college football, MLB postseason, and college basketball only 5 weeks away now, so let's get excited for that as well. If you're into betting the ponies, BUSR also offers the best promos, bonuses, and odds of any online racebook. Head over to BUSR.com/studentunion today and check them out. Placing the HTR lay throughout this year, and we still suck at gambling, but we're using them as our source. Alrighty, now we're going to have a draft of our favorite chain restaurants, and we've been struggling with the order on the podcast, as you've heard the last couple of weeks, so we have it figured out now. I will be drafting first, then Joey and Stin, and we're doing 4 picks here. Oh, this is a tough one. Very anticipated. People were talking. I think I'm going to go with the original tried and true fast food restaurant, and that is McDonald's. You know, their food isn't great. but it's very.
You're
it's,
really backing that pickup really well right now. First overall,
well, no,
their
let me
food
finish.
isn't great.
Their food isn't great, but it's never bad. It's always very consistent. Like, you know what? If I want to go and get a McDouble, I know exactly how that McDouble's going to taste. It's never going to be bad or anything like that. If you want to say the
fries
ice cream,
are a total crapshoot.
what?
The fries are a total crapshoot.
Yeah, that's true. The fries could be hit or miss, but that could be pretty much any place, unless you're always pissed that the ice cream machine's down. But yeah, that's my first pick.
Okay, I like McDonald's. I went to Gone One. So I'm gonna go with one that's close to my heart. I'm gonna go with Dairy Queen, mostly because I'm a huge ice cream guy. Now, for those of the locals, you'll know that the Riverside Dairy Queen here in Iowa City is the GOAT Dairy Queen. They have the best ice cream, best portions, best ratio of candy to ice cream. But also, I enjoy their food. Not at the Riverside one because it's strictly ice cream, but they have the Flamethrower is a really good burger, and their chicken strip basket is pretty good as well. So that's what I'll go with for number one.
Stint?
So many choices out there. I'm trying to think, like, what food. I don't know, man. Okay.
To be honest, this speaks to us. It's good for us. I don't eat that many chains. Like, here in Iowa City, I mostly eat at local places. You're welcome for my service.
Okay. For my first pick, I'm gonna go with Panda Express. I would say that Chinese is probably my favorite type of cuisine, and Panda Express is just like such an easy, quick, like, I'm gonna go get some Chinese food. Yeah, it's an Americanized version, but whatever. I'm a big fan of Panda Express. It's much better if they have the chow mein, but you can only feel comfortable ordering that if you're inside, not the drive-thru, because you have to see if it's a fresh bowl of the noodles or not. Because if it's not, and it's just like all cabbage at the bottom, you don't want to get that. Then you go with the fried rice. But if it looks fresh, then you go with the noodles. It makes the meal significantly better. Oh shit, I got two here, don't I?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we went with Panda Express. Then I'm gonna go with Chili's.
Oh,
Ooh,
man.
good pick. Good pick.
Yeah. Chili's, I feel like it's just like a little bit better version of Applebee's, and like you can go there and kind of get whatever you want. Like, you want ribs, they got that. You want like burgers, they got that. You want pasta, they got that. Like, they kind of just have a little bit of everything, and it's consistently good. Like, it's not going to be the best meal that you ever had, but you're not going to go to Chili's and get a bad meal either. And you can usually get like a banging like margarita or something there too. So Chili's is just, if you're looking for like a chain sit-down restaurant, I feel like Chili's is kind of top tier there.
Joey?
Okay. I've only had this a couple times. Both times I've had it, it's been fantastic. And in my defense, I've only had it a couple times because they just recently opened them up around here. But Jersey Mike's subs are fantastic. If you haven't been, do yourself a favor and go. There's something about a hot sub that I really like. And theirs are huge. Like, they have big subs at Jersey Mike's. That's another thing for me. When I go places, I'm looking for portion size. Like, if I go to a fast food restaurant, I'm more inclined to get something that is more expensive because I think there will be more food.
Yeah.
So
I'm a big Subway guy, and went into Jersey Mike's pretty skeptical because I'm true Subway man, and it was phenomenal. I won't put it above Subway, but it's easily 1B for me. So, can respect that pick.
thank you.
I am gonna go. I'm gonna go with Chili's cousin, Applebee's, as my next pick. Kind of like McDonald's, people like to shit on it. I don't know why. Their food's alright, but the half-off apps to end the night, I mean, showing up at 9 o'clock and ordering a couple appetizers and your bill's only $10, you can't beat it.
There's nothing nothing better than going to an Applebee's after 9 for half off apps and whatever the dollar drink of the month is. I would have had Applebee's higher up in my list, but their goddamn TikTok commercial pisses me off so much that they drop down in my rankings.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've seen that.
Yes, you have. Fancy like Applebee's.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
You know exactly what we're talking about, and it's on like 15 times every time you watch a fucking football game.
If you've watched any amount of football this year, you've seen it at least 47 times. Horrible.
Yeah, so they got bumped down in my rankings because of that, but I'm a big Applebee's fan.
And then my next pick, I'm gonna take my favorite quick pizza chain. That is Domino's.
I've considered Domino's.
Domino's, it is. Joey and I expressed our opinions on Papa John's last week, so they're out the window. Little Caesars, I can get down with the $5 hot and ready every now and then, but Domino's, they season their crust so wonderfully, and their toppings are pretty good. It's kind of cheap, so
yeah. But yeah, it's like the McDonald's thing to me. You know what you're getting with Domino's. I don't know that I've ever had a bad Domino's pizza. I've had a bad Domino's experience, but the pizza itself is always good.
Are you talking about the experience about... Oh, wait, which experience?
In Des Moines.
Okay, yeah.
Pretty much anytime you try and order Domino's like after midnight, you just have to expect that you're going to wait about 2 hours for it to show up. But you have to know that going into it.
All right, Joey?
I am going with the best burger in all of fast food, Freddy's. Freddy's is the perfect combination because their burgers are to me it's like the perfect combination of Culver's and Steak and Shake. Steak and Shake is like generic Freddy's to me. Like their food is so unseasoned and tasteless. Their shakes even are not even good. But Freddy's, their burgers are like they're thin and they got like the little crust around the edges. So that's awesome. And then their fries are just out of this world, especially with their sauce. The fry sauce and the jalapeno fry sauce are untouchable to me. So.
We've really been pumping up Freddy's here on the last 2 podcasts for our drafts.
It's good shit.
It is just fantastic.
One's in Coralville on the Strip, if you're wondering. Dubuque has one.
Downtown Iowa City.
Yeah.
Downtown Iowa City has one?
Yeah, it's where...
Penn Mall. Or the old Capitol Mall.
It was a Panera? No, Panera's still there. It's what Jimmy Jack's was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the old Capitol Mall. Very good.
Yeah.
Stin?
Okay. Yeah, I think I'm going to keep just kind of diversifying the types of food for my picks. So for my third pick, I'm going to go with my favorite pizza joint, and that's going to be Happy Joe's. It's more of a kind of like Eastern Iowa type situation, so if you haven't had it, you're missing out. But more specifically, the Dubuque Happy Joe's has the best pizza in the world, and you can't tell me otherwise.
Oh, like it originated in the Quad Cities, but the one next to the Kennedy Mall in Dubuque, Iowa, the whole atmosphere too. The whole atmosphere, like if you go there, it's a fun place to be at. You know, everybody's in a generally good mood.
They got the window that looks into the kitchen so you can see the guys making the pizzas. Sometimes they'll throw a pepperoni at it. That's funny. They used to have the Fun Ball machine, which was just an absolute goat game of the childhood, which is really dumb because all you got to do is get a bouncy ball out of it, but you had to like try and drive it down the tracks and get like the bonus ball or whatever. It was great.
I don't know if every family had this, but we had a bag of bouncy balls at our house, like literally like a one of the big Ziploc bags full of them from there. Mom and Dad had to have hated that thing.
Let's play Fun Ball.
Yep.
Yeah. Classic.
Stin, you're up again. Last pick.
Okay. Last pick. We're going to go... so what? I've done Chinese. I've done like kind of sit-down American pizza. We're going to finish it out with some Tex-Mex and go with Pancheros. Best place to get a burrito. That's a chain restaurant. Their queso smacks. The fresh pressed tortilla always hits. Pro move is to get double rice because there's no extra charge for that, and then you get hope that you just put enough other stuff in there that they bust the tortilla when they're rolling it up, so then you get the double wrap for free. I love Pancheros. It's awesome. Don't go to the one downtown Iowa City though. the workers there do not give a fuck about you, and they put together a really shitty burrito, go to the one on Riverside. A lot better. They also might fight you at the downtown Iowa City location.
Okay. Joey, what's your pick?
I'm going to go with another one that I really haven't been to that often, but every time I've had it, I've just enjoyed the hell out of it. And I wonder if this is one of those things where, like, if it was more available, if I would like it as much, kind of like Spotted Cow. Like, I like it, but if it was here all the time, I probably wouldn't drink it that much. But nonetheless, Whataburger.
That was going to be my number one honorable mention.
Their burgers are huge.
They are.
You get a big burger when you go there, and that's like I'm on the record saying that's one of the most important things to me. So I've had it only when we gone on spring break.
Pretty much only in Texas or Florida. Like, you have to be in the deep south to get it.
So
their sweet and spicy burger is awesome. They also have spicy ketchup, which is very nice.
Why is it spicy?
I've never had their breakfast because I've only gone there for like lunch or dinner. But I've heard that they have a honey butter chicken biscuit on their breakfast menu that's like the best breakfast fast food thing that you can buy.
Impressive. Good list by me.
Okay.
My last pick. I'm gonna go. I love Chipotle. I'll say it. They're both. Here's what I'll say: Pancheros burritos are better, but Chipotle's bowls you get so much more than a Pancheros bowl, and I think their ingredients are a lot better. As like the salsas, the guac, it just feels fresher and it tastes better. Joey's nodding in agreement right now.
I agree with Luke. I would have put Chipotle on my list before Ponch, just because of their bowls. Their bowls are like next level flavor. Like I've always said, local place Estella's. Estella's is the best of both worlds. Their burrito and bowls are both good. Chipotle and their ingredients are, I think, the best. Chipotle has the best bowl and their ingredients are good. But Ponch, nothing compares with the Ponch shell, the Ponch tortilla.
Shell.
Well, it is a shell.
Yeah, it is. Don't get a burrito from Chipotle.
No, or queso.
Yeah, or queso.
I don't know. I always hate Chipotle.
No, but even like I'm not kidding. Their salsa, their hot salsa from Chipotle, unreal. It's comparing it to Pancheros should be a crime because it's not even close. But
Instead, it's fine that you're to try new things, widen your horizons. It's fine.
Nope.
Did you guys have any honorable mentions? Because I got a few here.
I have a dishonorable mention.
Let's hear it.
Buffalo Wild Wings, Iowa City. The 2 out of the last 3 times I've been there, they have just completely forgotten about my order, and I had to go up and remind them to make it. And everybody else at the table was like already done or almost done eating. And that's just unacceptable to me. That's a 66.6 repeating rate of them forgetting my order. And the other time that we were there in between them forgetting my order, they didn't forget Alex's order, but Alex's order got there when we were like done. Like, come on. And I understand restaurants are short staffed. There was nobody there the other night. Like, no customers.
And Joey and I are on the record saying you have to really screw up our food for us to say something about it. So, yeah.
Oh, let me be clear. I didn't say anything about it. I wasn't rude about it or anything. I just told them that they forgot my order. I'm a chicken shit in that aspect.
It's not that they screwed up his order so much as just didn't make it.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't have any honorable mentions, just dishonorable.
I had a few. B-dubs is all right on occasion. Their quality's gotten way worse over the years, in my opinion. Would you agree?
I mean, the only time that you should realistically be going to B-dubs is on a Thursday night when they have buy one get one free boneless wings. Otherwise, you're paying way too much for wings that are just all right.
I have grown less fond of it over the years, especially the last month or so.
And then I had Subway, and Wendy's is my second favorite fast food chain. I would say it's the best chicken. I'll fight somebody over this. It's better than Popeyes. It's better than I do like KFC's chicken a lot, but It is very good quality food,
And the
in my
Frosty
opinion.
is just a legendary. Frosty is just an all-time fast food item.
Good chocolate Frosty.
With some fries dip in there. Mm-mm-mm.
And then here's one that I think gets a lot of shit thrown at it, and it's Pizza Hut. I think it's perfectly good pizza.
I like Pizza Hut. They have like surprisingly good wings, actually.
I think it used to be good. Like the Pizza Hut, like back in the day when you would go sit down at it and they had like a buffet and stuff like that. It was good, but I think it's changed. I don't really like it anymore. I don't care for it.
But
I have one up and comer. We'll call it Rookie of the Year, maybe. They just put one of these in Iowa City. Firehouse subs. I've only had it one time, but much like Jersey Mike's, they have a really good hot sub, it seems. And there was probably 10 or 15 of them on the menu that I want to try. So I'll be going there frequently, I'm sure.
Honorable mention for me is Village Inn. There's something about going there on a Sunday morning when you're hungover, usually after a football game or just a good night of partying, and getting a fat breakfast, specifically the chicken fried steak or something the chicken fried steak one. You get the chicken fried steak, 2 eggs, hash browns, and 3 pancakes with it. It's $12.
Yeah,
it's
so
awesome.
If what you did to your body Saturday night didn't harm your arteries and your organs enough, go there and get that.
Yeah.
That's got to be 3,000 calories.
Probably, but it's awesome. Don't act like you haven't done it before.
Oh, I've done it on several occasions.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, there's something about a good breakfast restaurant. It's like if you got a group of people and you're all a little bit hungover, it just always hits.
the key to Village Inn, though, is you have to be there before church lets out.
Or you just have to accept the fact that you're going to have to wait for 45 minutes to get set. Which, if you got a group of people, is not the worst thing in the world. You just kind of shoot the shit, talk about what you did the night before. Then you go and you have a banging breakfast.
All right. I'm a little surprised Joey didn't put Wingstop out there tonight.
I thought about it. Don't
He's been on
don't
that
think
high.
I didn't.
But do we have anything else we want to mention here? Thomas Gilman won a World Wrestling Championship today, so he's number 1 in the world for that. A ton of recruits will be at the game this weekend.
Yeah, I think that this weekend has the chance to be a program-altering weekend for Iowa football. I think it could be what takes us from just a team that you can rely on to be above average, be good every year, to I think it has the potential to catapult us up into the next tier with the the Ohio States and those teams of the world, because we're going to have all eyes on Iowa City are going to be on Iowa City on Saturday afternoon. We're going to have tons of recruits there. If Iowa puts on a performance like they did last week, defensively especially, we're going to get some of these recruits, and I think it could change the path of the program for years to come.
Yeah, I feel similarly like that. It could take us from a consistently good, not great program to a great with good mixed in there.
Yeah, it is going to be one of the more wild weekends to be in Iowa City. Anything else? 3.
Let's just enjoy the ride this week.
It's gonna feel like it. But if we lose, it's not the end of the world, as you guys were saying earlier. And I will be down bad.
I'll be devastated
for at least until we get another win next week. But
the college football playoff window does not close this weekend.
It doesn't close. It gets significantly smaller. I think even if we win the Big Ten championship, there will still be so much, I don't know, not necessarily SEC bias, but other team bias that will try to keep us out of it.
If we win out and win the Big Ten championship, there is a 0% chance that Iowa does not make that. There's no
Alabama.
There's no chance that you could leave an undefeated Big Ten championship team out of there. I don't care what you like. It's not possible.
No, if we lose, I'm saying this week.
You said if we went undefeated.
No, we went out.
We went out.
But even I will say, even if God forbid we lose this weekend, it will be Alabama, Georgia, probably Oklahoma, and then
Cincinnati.
Cincinnati would have a case. The Big Ten
Oklahoma
champion would
has
have a
looked-
case.
Oklahoma has looked bad this year.
An undefeated Oklahoma still gets in, though. So, I'm going to say something reckless.
Like lose to Iowa State.
I'm going to say something. I want Iowa State to... I'm going to cheer for Iowa State. That weekend they play Oklahoma.
Let's just have Oklahoma State beat them instead.
You know, yeah, that's good. Good call. Hopefully they lose before we get to that situation. Gonna delete that. But, hey.
Yeah, that was a stupid thought.
Number 3, Iowa. Number 4, Penn State. This Saturday, Kinnick Stadium, 3 o'clock. Fox, right? Fox Sports 1? Or just Fox?
It's got to be just Fox.
Probably just regular Fox.
Yeah, should be a good one. Let's have a good weekend, huh? Let's have some fun. Have fun tailgating. And hopefully we wake up Saturday morning 6-0 and ready to continue kicking some ass throughout the rest of the season. Thanks for listening, everybody. You can subscribe to the show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Podbean. You can follow the show on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. The Twitter and Instagram handles are at @HTR_pod. You can follow all 3 of us on Twitter. Mine is at Myers_Luke. Joey's is at JoeMama2196. And Austin's is at Myers Austin. Thanks for listening, everybody, and go Hawks.
And fuck Nebraska.